Hello, friends. This is Dave Hurwitz, executive editor at ClassicsToday.com, here with random reviews from the Overflow room. Yes, they're very random, and they really overflow. Our room floweth over. Let's see what we've got here. We've got 4 things here, strange little collection of unusual titles, some of them. First of all, Charles Villiers Stanford. You gotta have some Stanford. Actually, I have all the symphonies and that stuff, the orchestral pieces. Those are upstairs in the main collection. Stanford was a good composer. He really was. I mean, he wrote some junk like his Requiem, which is horrifying beyond belief, but he also wrote a lot of very fine music, particularly chamber music. What were his dates? 1852 to 1924. String quartets. His string quartets are lovely. And this is, let's see, the R.T.E. Vanbrugh Quartet on Hyperion, doing string quartets 1 and 2. They're rather late works, 1891 for 1 and 2. Opus is 44 and 45, so he waited to do his string quartets. And the Fantasy for Horn Quintet in A minor from 1922. Really lovely works, worth getting to know if you're interested in romantic chamber music that doesn't get the attention it deserves. We also have this sucker, some of his choral music, the Songs of the Sea and Songs of the Fleet, coupled with Norman Del Mar in the Bournemouth Symphony and Benjamin Luxon in the Bournemouth Symphony, I said the Bournemouth Symphony Orchestra and Chorus, and then Sea Drift with Charles Groves, John Noble, and the Liverpudlians. These are sort of classic EMI performances. They're lovely works. They really are. And again, well worth hearing and worth performing once in a, blue moon. So let's stick those up there. And then we've got, this is interesting. This is a disc of 18 dances for guitars, specially composed for the inimitable David Starobin, who was, the guiding force along with his wife Becky behind Bridge Records. Fabulous people. He's a wonderful, gifted artist. And we've got just pieces by like everybody in the world, all these contemporary composers, little pieces. The longest is 4 minutes and 48 seconds. The shortest is 5 minutes, 35 seconds. Pardon me. The shortest is like 1 minute 39 or thereabouts. And they're by Stephen Jaffe, Jorge Morel, Elliot Carter, Mario LaVista. Elliot Carter is such a dancey composer. Mario LaVista, William Bland, Bent Sorensen, John Anthony Lennon, Steve Mackey, Richard Wernick, Apostolos Paraskevas, John Duarte, Milton Babbitt, another cucaracha, cha-cha kind of guy, Michael Starobin, Jonathan Harvey, Per Nørgaard, Paul Rudders, Paul Lansky. I love Paul Lansky. He wrote wonderful music. And Brian Johansson, or however you want to pronounce it. All of these pieces were composed between 1996 and 1997. And they are splendidly recorded, of course, and wonderfully performed. This is really one of those sort of, it could be a cult record, really. I mean, if we need another cult, well, there you go. Then we've got, let's see, so that was Starobin. And this is I don't know if these are all in the right order. This is the Andy Statman Quartet, The Hidden Light. Andy Statman is a clarinetist. He plays Klezmer music, variations on Klezmer music, and all kinds of things that are inspired by Klezmer music. And this is a lovely disc of that kind of stuff. You've got Lecha Dodi, which is Come My Beloved, Song of Redemption, let's see, How Beloved Is Your Rest, which is, let's see, how is that? I can't even see it. Ma Yedidas. It's very difficult to see some of these tiny print things. The Russian Waltz, Shamil's Song, The Hidden Light, Para Aduma, the red heifer. I guess it's about a cow. I don't know. Pastoral and other things. It's lovely music, wonderful music, and it's lots of fun. So we have Starobin and Statman. Let me go this way. And Stanford. So it's Stanford, Starobin, Statman. Okay, we go this way. There we go. I was doing these in reverse alphabetical order, which means in correct alphabetical order. When you get into these tiny ones where you're dealing with alphabetizing from like the 3rd letter in their name or 4th or who knows. I get lost. All right, and finally, Gasparo, Spontini. Spontini was a very important composer in his day. He lived from 1774 to 1851. He worked in Germany for quite a long time and wrote big, noisy, quasi-romantic, quasi-classical opera things. So we've got La Vestale, the Vestal Virgin thing. That's his most popular work, his most famous work. It's a tragédie lyrique in 3 acts. And it's really a wonderful piece. This is Muti's recording. Muti got into all these sort of unusual composers, and good for him, And then we have Olympie. Let's see, who's the cast? Who's singing the Vestale? Let's see, Anthony Michaels Moore, J. Patrick Rafferty, Dimitri Kavakos. Where are the women? Oh, there they are. Karen Hofstadt, and La Grande Vestale is Denise Graves. And then we've got Olympie with Julia Varady, Stefania Tokschiska, Franco Tagliavini, Fisher Dieskau. It's on Orfeo, it was his label. Remember that? George Fortune and Joseph Becker. This is with Gerd Albrecht and the RAIS Kammerchor, the Berlin Radio Symphony. So you've got these suckers, and really, Spontini is a composer worth getting to know. He was, my favorite of his, though, is probably because I have the score. It came out in a critical edition. Agnes von Hohenstaufen, I think it was called. Yes. And boy, is that a funny score. I talk about it in my vibrato essays. It's got all kinds of wild expressive indications in it. And it looks noisy. Oh my God, it looks like the loudest thing you've ever heard in your life. Well, his other opera too, what is it, Fernand Cortez? That's pretty loud too, I think. But yes, he was loud and fun and vulgar and interesting. So he's worth hearing. And I kept those in the overflow room, and some other stuff is upstairs. So keep on listening, friends. Thank you so much for joining me. Take care.